Okay, let's talk about May 3rd NHL playoff games between the New York Islanders and the Carolina Hurricanes and the Dallas Stars and the St. Louis Blues. Let's start with the Islanders and the Hurricanes. Carolina sweeps this one. They win 5-2. They take the series 4-0. That's amazing because the last time a team swept their opponent in the first round yet got swept in the second round was the 1993 Buffalo Sabres. And the teams before that were the 1970 and 1972 Chicago Blackhawks. Doesn't happen often. And I think it's only happened maybe 9 times. And there was a lot of discussion before the beginning of this game about, who should start in net. Maybe Thomas Greiss should get a chance because Leonard looked a bit, mentally fatigued in the last game. He didn't look as focused. And of course, the other side of the coin was that you've gone this far with him, and he's got the best save percentage in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like .946 or something. How can you not throw this guy in? So there was that argument. He probably shouldn't have started this game because you saw more of that in this one because he gets pulled at one point. Now, both teams just come out, get a power play opportunity right off the bat, and they both score. So Barzal puts New York on the board first with his second of the playoffs, only his second. An underlying, theme here, New York just hasn't scored at all. And this goal is their 4th goal in 4 games in this series against the Hurricanes. They end up getting, another one, but just the offense just completely disappeared. In any case, that was assisted by Taves and Eberle, and then, Carolina ties it up. Aho, not Aho, gets his 4th of the season on the power play, assisted by Teravainen and Folk. Now, the Isles came out really heavy in this game, and like gangbusters, but Carolina just slowly took it over. And I think the turning point for that was Leo Komarov took a senseless cross-checking penalty to the head of Justin Williams. I mean, it wasn't, he didn't get kicked out of the game or anything, but it was dumb. And he kind of looked at the ref like, oh, what did I do? And when Williams looked at him, it was hard. William gave him this look as if he was his father, and he I'm so disappointed in you. I'm just, it was funny. And I felt bad the way he looked at him. So I don't know what Komarov was doing there. And I know Trotz really preaches, key stay out of the box. And that wasn't the first penalty Komarov took either. And Mayfield went to the box twice as well. So when you're down 3 games, you got to be a lot more disciplined. Now the crowd was also really loud in this one. I want to say Nashville playoffs loud from the past couple of seasons, not this season. And what else is there? And Aho, he just really looked good. Not just because he got on the board, but and now I sound like a broken record. Defensively, he's just back checking all the time. This guy saves goals. Man, he's gonna get paid. Not Mitch Marner money because Aho isn't playing in Toronto, so obviously it's not going to happen. Now, the second period here, Carolina just continues to carry the play forward, and New York, the Islanders just had a really hard time just getting out of their own zone. It just looked bad, and then Carolina went up 2-1 on a nice cross-ice pass into a wide-open net. Leonard had no chance. That was scored by Teravainen, who gets a 6th, assisted by Foegele and Aho. And then Carolina goes up 3-1. Blood is in the water. And this is a slap shot that sort of hits Leonard and then drops between his legs, but he doesn't know where it is. And McKegg finds it, happens to be close to the net. And there's no defenseman close. And you're like, where is the Barry Trotz defensively responsible team that we've all come to know? Because they didn't show up in that game, and McKegg finds the puck and just smacks it in. Really, it's just behind Leonard's stick, just behind his paddle, and he just taps it in. And this is where Leonard gets pulled. So, and then Grice comes in, and then soon afterwards, Justin Williams, Mr. Game 7, gets his third of the playoffs, assisted by Stahl and Niederreiter. During the second intermission, I was watching this one on Sportsnet, and Kelly Roddy, Ron McLean, and Nick Kyprios, and Elliot Friedman. The commentators were just saying, Carolina just took New York Islanders' will and spirit away. And the interesting thing was that when Leonard was pulled, he skated really swiftly to the bench. And if, for those of you who remember Leonard, in Buffalo or even in Ottawa, whenever he gets pulled, he's usually pretty upset and he can't control his temper. Hence, a couple instances in Buffalo where he skates to the bench and he starts, reaming out the coach for pulling him. And I got a little nervous, I must say, watching him skate that fast to the bench. I was like, oh no, this isn't happening. And so as he gets to the bench and he's not slowing down, he's just and then he swings by and he just fist bumps all of his teammates and he says, I don't know, who knows what he says, probably go get him or something, and then he wishes Grice good luck, and it was just like, whew, good for you, buddy, good for you, doing it with class, I must say. And then we move on to the third period here. Svechnikov puts the nail in the coffin, of course. He gets his third of the playoffs. Falk gets an assist. Falk and Slavin, just machines. Just amazingly defensively. Just they look like Chara or Lindstrom. Just the stick checking was just really detrimental to the Islanders. It was really hard to get by them. And Pesce quietly had another great game defensively as well. And before we get to the Islanders goal, which they ended up making it 5-2 on a goal from Nelson, assisted by Mayfield and Taves, until that goal, the Islanders hadn't scored in the third period in that series. Team stats for the Islanders and the Hurricanes. Face-offs were 24-23 for the Hurricanes. Power play, the Canes go 1 for 4. Islanders go 1 for 3. Hits are 34-28 for the Islanders. Giveaways were 11-5 for the Carolina Hurricanes. Again, the Islanders did statistically seem to have a bit of a good game in this one, but yeah, they still walk away empty-handed because nobody can score. The takeaways are 16-10 for the Hurricanes. Block shots are 20-11 for Carolina in this. The shots, first period are 10-6 for the Islanders, 11-6 in the second for the Hurricanes, 12-4 in the third for the Islanders, and 28-21 for the game for New York. Now, the goalies, of course, McElhinney gets the win, saves 26-28 with a .929 save percentage. He's now 3-0 in the playoffs after Peter Mrazek got hurt. And if you didn't know this already, McElhinney is the oldest goalie to never have played a playoff game and win his first game and second game and third game, something along those lines. So that's quite a bit of a Cinderella story right there. Robin Lehner, of course, gets the loss. He only saves 8 of 11 before he gets pulled in the second period there after the third goal. He has a 7.27 save percentage, is 4-4 in the playoffs. And the 3 stars of the game are Teravainen with a goal, an apple, a +2, and 16:54 of ice time. Aho also has a goal and an apple and +2 and has 17:15 of ice time. And McElhinney gets the 3rd star there. Let's move over to the Dallas-St. Louis game. As I mentioned, the Stars win 2-1. They take the series 3-2. Dallas does go ahead 1-0 in this and early. As you can see, the time slots that I put in there at 2:42. Spezza gets his 3rd of the playoffs, assisted by Sagan and Janmark. The St. Louis players get puck watching on this one. No one picks up Spezza, who just steps right into the high slot and slap shots this past a Binnington who just had no chance. There were some defensive breakdowns definitely on St. Louis's part, but for the rest of the period, St. Louis looked really good. They were hitting everything, especially I want to say Schenn looked really good in this one, as did Robert Thomas. Again, for the past 3-4 games, he's looked really good. Coincidentally, St. Louis has lost 2 of the 3 of those, but Schwartz looked also pretty good in this game. As you can see, he scored in the third. In this series, just some interesting stats. 5-on-5. This is, I want to say, just after Dallas scores their first goal. During 5-on-5, the two teams are even with 9 goals apiece. Not a peach, but a piece. And then on the specialty teams, Dallas leads that category 4-2. Now that's just after the Spezza goal. After the 8 minutes of the first period, St. Louis kind of took over that game. So all during the intermission, JR and Keith Jones were just talking about how they think St. Louis is probably going to win this game if they continue to play the way they are. We get into the second period. Dallas just is getting a lot of breakaways, odd man rushes, and St. Louis is giving away the puck. You'll see that in the stats that I read to you in the giveaway section. There's a big difference here. The St. Louis keeps on getting a power play, but they just keep... Not only does their power play look poor, but you still have to give credit to Dallas's penalty kill. It was third overall in the league during the regular season. And they went 12 for 12, killing off all their penalties against Nashville. And they mentioned that during the game. But I was waiting for them to say, however, Nashville had the worst power play proficiency in the league during the regular season. That's got to be important, right? So which is balance. That's all I'm saying. Obviously Dallas has a good penalty kill, but St. Louis they didn't have it together. They looked like they weren't in that game at all, and when they came into that second period and Lindell gets that goal. Lindell is Klingberg's partner on defense, and he's more of a defenseman. So him scoring this goal is kind of surprising, and that's assisted by Radulov and Klingberg. And the shot is a backhand that hits a Blues player who's trying to block the shot in the leg, and it kind of pops up and it throws Binnington a bit of a curve. He doesn't have a chance on that either, and it goes in. It's 2-0, and it kind of sucks the momentum, any momentum that St. Louis may have. And they're just kind of listless from then on, really. Even the crowd started, because this was in St. Louis, their fans started getting on their case because their power play just looked so poor. St. Louis looked sloppy and lazy after that second goal, mind you. Bishop looked, pretty good, really for all this game. He makes a mistake on that Schwartz goal. We'll get to that. And the forwards for Dallas they're a good defensive team. It's what they do best. They don't score a lot of goals, but you can see that, like the Carolina that's just a water burp, I promise. That you could tell that, just like in the Carolina game, Dallas's forwards and defense just collapse on that net whenever the puck goes to it, so that there's no rebounds. So it was really hard for St. Louis to get into the middle of the ice at all, really, during this game. So we go into the third, 8:26. Schwartz gets his 7th of the season. Now this comes off this was funny because the commentators during the game, which was Pierre McGuire and Kendall, and I forget the other guy's name, the play-by-play guy. But in any case, they're just talking about how good Bishop is at playing the puck, how he's like a third defenseman, and he's good at passing it out, and so on and so forth. Not a second goes by after they finish praising him. Does Bishop brutally give the puck away, and Schwartz pounces on it and pops it in to make it 2-1, and then St. Louis comes alive, for the next 12 minutes of the game. They can't do anything with it, though. Team stats. The faceoffs were 33-31 for St. Louis. The power play, 0 for 4. Ouch. Dallas, 0 for 1. So St. Louis wasn't taking any penalties. Hits were 32-14 St. Louis. Shen, and half of those got to be Shens. I'm kidding, but it looked like it. They were throwing the Peryenko, Shen, O'Reilly. Those guys, a lot of them were throwing their body around. Giveaways, 14-4. Remember I mentioned this earlier? During the intermission, they talked a lot about this. The giveaways, the turnovers by St. Louis, it really did them in this game. Takeaways, Dallas won that 12-8, and block shots were 19-8 for the Dallas Stars. Shots, first period, 13-11 for the Blues. Second period, 12-11 for the Stars. Third, 12-5 for St. Louis. As I said, they really got life after that goal, Jaden Schwartz goal. And the overall shots were 36-27. Goalies, Bishop, of course, gets the win, saves 38-39 with a .974 save percentage. He's now 7-4. Bennington, who you cannot blame either of those goals on at all, because he did look good on some other opportunities. Saves 25 of 27 with a .926 save percentage. He's now 6-5. The 3 stars of the game. Number 1, of course, Ben Bishop. Number 2, Lindell with a goal, an even plus-minus, and 29-20 of ice time. I think Klingberg had even more. And the second pairing D is Heiskanen and Polak. Polak's in the second pairing. Defenseman. And the third pairing is Lovejoy, who they acquired from New Jersey back in February. And the other guy, I'm sorry, I just can't think of his name right now. Okay, so the third star of the game was Jaden Schwartz, who had a goal, was a +1, and had 21-17 of ice time. He played a good game and was rewarded with the ice time accordingly. That's it. There you have it. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this one about, where do you see Carolina going after this? I know it depends on who they're facing. Maybe it doesn't. Now they're going to have 10 days off. Will they be rusty later? I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. Hit like if you like this video. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And hey, if you happen to have any Hockey Geek friends, please don't feel shy about sharing. Thanks again. I'll see you soon.